It's a new kind of show. Starring me, Cindy Ashton. With special guest, Nina Manelson. Live from the streets of New York City. This is Cindy Uncorked. So, how was your Halloween? Did you get dressed up or did you get almost naked like I did last week? So today we have another really amazing guest. Her name is Nina Manelson, and we're going to be tackling the whole dieting thing. I know I'm not eating right, but I just can't seem to stop. So what's going on? You're about to find out. But at the very end of the show, I'm also going to talk to you about how do you walk into a room and project confidence no matter how you're feeling. It's going to be very enlightening. But first, as usual, we're back to having our adventures. So let's get uncorked and let's do this. Everybody, I am super jazzed because today I'm going to learn how to fly a plane. We are currently at the Berkshire Aviation School and Great Barrington Airport. And today we're going to talk about women in aviation and learn how to fly a plane with the fabulous Peggy Leffler. Hello, Peggy.
Nice to meet you, Cindy.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited that you're here. So tell us a little bit about women in aviation. When did women actually start to fly planes? What kind of barriers did they have? Go for it.
Well, if you look back 1903, when flight was beginning with the Wright brothers, women were right there. And as aviation started to become more popular, people were setting records, altitude, endurance, and speed, and there were air races and competitions, and women were actually involved in those, but they were not recognized in those early years. So after the frustration of not being recognized and for their accomplishments and their achievements, because they were right there setting records just like the men were, after 1929, the women decided, after an air race that was just especially for women, they decided to have a meeting and say, let's organize. If we organize and get together, we might be recognized and may be able to compete with the men. And so November 1929, 26 women met in Long Island at an airport over the din of the aircraft noise and the mechanics working along next to them. They drafted a letter that they would send to all the licensed women pilots in the country. And there happened to be 117 at that time.
Wow.
So they drafted a letter that invited women to join an organization. And they went through a number of ideas for names for their new organization, and they finally came up, as a matter of fact, Amelia Earhart suggested that they just name their organization after the number of charter members they have. So the charter member, or the responses started coming in, and 99 responses came in. So they named the organization the 99s.
I love
the 99s
it.
is the oldest organization of women pilots that still exists, and we are still a thriving organization now. We're international. We have over 5,000 members. But after that, women, they felt more organized, and they were competing with the men, and they were becoming recognized as they hoped.
That's amazing. So, I'm excited because you're going to teach me how to fly a plane now. You ready?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Okay, we're going to line up on the center line.
Okay.
Get ready to go. Wave this nice and calm. And we're flying.
What? This is so fun! know. I swear I feel like we're in an episode of Indiana Jones. Only we don't have anyone shooting.
Well, you're very brave to try an adventure like this.
Do you think you have good eating habits?
Does it look like I have good eating?
I think I'm usually alright, but like when I get home from school and stuff and I'm really hungry, I usually binge eat.
I think I'm good at eating habits because like I have more vegetable than meat.
Well, I think it's all right, but I do have probably a few too many treats from time to time, but yeah, I think it's fine. I have everything that I need to have a balanced diet.
Yeah, I eat a lot of healthy food and I avoid eating outside street foods. No, that's a complete no-no for me. I eat a lot of vegetables and fruits every day.
I could eat cleaner. I could definitely eat cleaner. I don't think I have the best eating habits. I'm trying. There's just some stuff is so good.
All right. I have a question for you. Have you ever said to yourself, I know I'm not eating right, but I just can't seem to stop? All right, everybody. Today we have a very, very special guest. Her name is Nina Mandelson, and she is a psychology of eating and health coach. Please welcome her. She's going to enlighten us. Hello, Nina.
Hello, Cindy. It is a true delight to be here with you. A real pleasure.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited that you're here because so many people struggle with this. Oh, and we need to tackle it.
Yeah.
So why is it that people know that they're not eating right and they just can't seem to stop? Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's true, right? We know. We totally know already.
Right.
We know we should be eating more greens or drinking more water or eating less sugar. We know.
Right.
The information is not the issue.
Right.
The information is so abundant, in fact, that it's a high fact diet, not high fat, high fact, F-A-C-T. We got too much information.
Oh boy.
So much information that what happens is we go, oh, well, maybe I should do this, or maybe I should do this diet. Oh, that looks good. And they're saying I can lose 7 pounds in 7 days. Oh, I should do that one too. And then all the spinning, crash. And what crashes is our own sense of self. It's our own self-worth that ends up on the floor. Not only do we feel badly because we haven't succeeded at the promise, but we feel like we're a personal failure. Like, why can't I get this together? I can work, I can raise a family, I can do my job, I can do so many things. Why is it that I'm still struggling with my food and hating my body?
Well, and I think what you touched on earlier, that whole piece about overwhelm, that is one of the problems. Is this true? Is that one day this magazine says you got to have more whatever in your diet, and then 2 years later a new study comes out and says, oh, that's not right. We need this in our diet, and then it becomes like a cluster, whatever, of information, and it's overwhelming.
Not only is it overwhelming, but it's out there. So what do we need? We need the information to come from in here. We need ourselves to be the authority, not the newest, latest, greatest, fastest diet.
Right.
That's not going to do it for us. We need to have ourselves be the expert. It's about tuning into your own body's wisdom. It's about saying, I am the expert. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to listen to every craving for, Twinkies or whatever it is. That's not what we're saying, because there's a deeper message. We all know what it really feels like to feel good on our body, right? You're sitting on the beach. You don't need someone to go, okay, now that's being relaxed. That's feeling nourished. You got that?
Yeah,
we know
we
it.
know.
We feel it. So when we can learn more and more about what that vocabulary is, how our body actually speaks the language of nourishment, then we're heading down the right path. But we don't have any external models for that. We have the external model of, so you're on your diet? or are you off the diet? I hear it all the time for women who reach out to me. You know, I was on this diet, but I fell off the wagon. Or I was really good, and now I feel really bad.
So what it's essentially doing, this whole on and off the diet, is that it's actually perpetuating guilt and shame and am I enough, I'm not enough, what's wrong with me? So it creates way more issues than it does help in the end.
Absolutely, because we can't get out from underneath there's something wrong with me, I am faulty, right? So we have to shift the model from there's something wrong with me and I need to be cured, I need to be fixed,
right,
to, you know what, I'm suffering, I'm gonna have self-compassion, I'm gonna care for myself. Curing yourself of something versus caring for yourself.
That's brilliant, because the cure implies that there's something wrong with you and that you're not enough. But the nourishing implies that you are beautiful, you are brilliant, you are whole, you are complete, and now let's just fill you up even more.
Because you are. Because
right,
you are. Exactly.
I love it. So this brings me to where do we go? So we know. So how do we go from the knowing to the doing?
So right, we were just talking about we have to come from that inner knowing. So the knowing, we got all those facts in our head. The doing, let's get to know our own system.
It's about listening to ourselves.
Listening and respecting.
Ooh, I like that. Listening and respecting.
So
nice.
we have to learn the language of our body. The language of our body is sensation. So what does my body feel, right? So when you're sitting on the beach, you go, ooh, I feel relaxed. After you've eaten a whole bag of, I don't know, cookies and there's sugar and you're wired, how do I feel? I feel a little manic, right?
Yeah.
Which feels more nourishing? What we need is the support to create a new template around nourishment and to let go of the old template around there's a perfect diet that I just have to find.
Oh boy.
And then I'll be thin. And then I'm allowed to be happy. Let's back that up and go, I'm allowed to be happy and I'm allowed to nourish myself. And then the weight and the body hatred, it starts to fall away. You don't have to war with it. As we learn to nourish ourselves, as we step into a different model, then we start to relax and our body starts to hum. And that's how we want to feel.
I, Nina, love what you're saying, and I'm so excited to hear what you have to say about nourishment and how we can bring this model into our everyday life. But I'm going to put you on hold because it's commercial break, and after commercial break, we have the Live from the Street. People are going to get uncorked about, have they been on diets? Have they failed? How did it make them feel? I'm a little sad already thinking about what these answers are going to be. We'll see you after commercial break, and Nina will be back to tell us about the nourishment model.
Are you truly living in the now, or are you just okay, caught on an endless hamster wheel of work, struggling to be the mom you desire to be, and feeling your relationships straining under the pressure? Hi, I am Yai, and my course, Prosperity Now, will show you how to stop tolerating just okay and tap into the joy of abundance. When you powerfully live in the now, you will have a career that lights you up, raise happy and fulfilled children, and cultivate a deep, loving relationship with your partner. Go to prosperitynowcourse.com for more information on how to create your prosperous life by harnessing the power of now.
Want more Cindy? Join her and professional speaker Jason Reed on the Speaking for Profit podcast as they talk about how you can influence your audience, whether it's one person or 1,000. How uncorked do they get? You're going to have to tune in to find out.
So, have you ever been on a diet, and if so, has it failed, and how did it make you feel?
I've been on some kind of diets, and I couldn't keep them going for very long.
I've had a failed diet like a couple times before.
The important thing is the lifestyle choices you make, not the binge diets or the fad diets.
Kind of made me feel a little crappy at first, but eventually you just get over it and you start over again. So
How did it make you feel when you tried to diet and it didn't work?
Frustrated, really frustrated.
And it did make me feel bad. I felt sad about it, but not sad enough to not eat the slice of pizza at midnight.
Yep, that's what we thought. Some pretty sad stories from the street. So it is time to change this. Nina, tell us about nourishment and what the model is around this. What can people do?
Yeah. Because nourishment can start to feel a little abstract.
Yeah, let's bring it down to earth.
Right. I'm
Yes.
nourishing myself with this pint of ice cream. Isn't this nourishing? But it doesn't feel nourishing
Right.
10 minutes later, a half hour later, when you're beating yourself up because I can't believe I ate the ice cream again. Right? So what we want to be doing is shifting to a model that is truly, truly nourishing. And a nourishing model is actually a feminine model. And let me get a little bit deeper in that.
Please.
Because I don't actually mean female like women. I mean feminine as in an archetype. So we all have feminine and masculine aspects.
Right.
When the land of food and body, the masculine is huge. We've got $1 billion industry based on the masculine model of food and weight loss.
Right.
Count this calorie, count the grams, count your size, count your weight. You know, it's all measurable. It's almost like, you know, the Nike slogan, just do it. It's
Right.
very direct.
Raw.
Raw. Now, when women do that for a long time with their body, let me control this body, let me whip it into shape, we get exhausted.
It's exhausting.
It is exhausting and we give it up, then we feel like a failure.
Right.
Right? It doesn't work long term. So if we want to have a long-term relationship with our body, which we do because we
Right.
happen to be living here, right? So we want to have a healthy and positive, good, strong, healthy relationship with this amazing being that is our home.
Right.
Then we need to shift. We need to shift into a nourishing and feminine model, right?
Right.
So let's get a little more concrete. What does that actually look like?
Yes, tell us.
Right? So what it doesn't look like is I'm going to eat this much calories, I'm going to weigh this and I'm going to measure this and I'm only going to, and I, you know, and if I haven't met the mark, then I'm a failure. And if I don't get on that scale and I've lost, then I'm a failure. It's not that. It's what do I need? What, and this is a very, very important question to ask ourselves all the time. What would truly nourish me right now? Because you may say, you know what, I've had a hard day and I'm exhausted, right? Like I used to do this, I'd, you know, work and then I'd put the kids, when my kids were little, put them to bed, come downstairs, be standing in front of the fridge and be like, what would nourish me right now? I deserve a freaking reward, an award. Someone give me a gold medal, but I don't have a gold medal. So you know what? I think I'll eat ice cream now.
Yeah.
But if I really had asked myself, what would really nourish me right now? It would be, I need a break. I need a cup of tea. I need to put my feet up. I need to say, you worked hard today. You know, being a mommy and a working woman, it's a lot.
So part of it is about slowing down and being conscious.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Being in a relationship and connected to ourselves, being in that awareness, being mindful, listening, tuning into ourselves, and then working on what I call the nourishment dynamic. So
Yes.
the nourishment dynamic is so cool because we're taught a lot about, oh, you want nourishment? Here's some kale. But that's not the whole story, right? We've got this huge industry about how kale is the thing.
Right.
But that may not be what truly nourishes you.
Yes.
Right? And that kind of nourishment is only one level of the nourishment dynamic.
Yes.
We have to go deeper. We have to get into the lifestyle dynamic of nourishment. How are you eating? Are you eating standing up at the kitchen counter? Are you eating in the car? Are you eating walking down the street? Right? Like, are you just grabbing whatever, walking out of the house without a snack and then like, I'll pick something up on the way.
Yeah.
Right? How are you eating? So that's what are you eating is on the food level.
Right.
How are you eating is on the lifestyle level. And then who are you as an eater? right? Who is doing the eating? On the mindset. Is it that little kid who just wants, you know, a treat? Is it the exhausted mom who wants the gold sticker at the end of the day? Is it the pleasure seeker who's like, you know what, I've been so good on this diet and now I just want to break free and have some pleasure, right? Who's doing the eating? And how do I feel about myself? That's on the mindset level. So when we're talking about nourishment, we have to be looking at what are we eating? What are we eating? How are we eating? And why are we eating?
Yeah.
So nourishment has to go 360, holistic.
So brilliant. So how do we avoid making this nourishment dynamic one more thing to do?
Yeah, that's such a good point, because what happens for women is, oh gosh, self-care, another thing on my to-do list. And the way to get support is to be in a community of women who are also leading this nourished life and not comparing their body to the billboard and not saying, oh gosh, you know, I'm really bad on my diet today, and oh, I'm really gonna splurge now and like be rogue. Like, no, women who are really gonna say, yes, this is nourishing me. This is what feels good for me. And one of the ways that I provide that for my community is by I've created the Nourished Woman Nation.
I love it.
Because I want all women to be nourished women.
Yeah.
So I've invited everybody. It's like a totally free community to
I'm
come
in it,
on in, right?
and I love it.
Right.
So this is really interesting, because when I knew that you were coming on my show, I actually signed up to be part of your nation. And it's interesting, because my first thought was, oh, well, I don't have a weight problem, but I'm going to do this because she's my interviewee and I want to experience her work beforehand. And it was very interesting to me, because I meditate 2 times a day, sometimes 3 or 4, depending on the day. I have an impeccable diet and cook from home and buy all organic. Like, I do everything that a person is supposed to do. And what I have found as being part of your nation, a very proud member, is that I didn't realize that I actually don't have a great relationship with my food. I eat right, but but I'm shoveling as I'm working. I don't actually, and I think it's because I'm single, and I figure, oh, I'm just gonna eat and I gotta do work, and I didn't realize how unconscious I was, and I didn't realize that I was overeating. So this is so amazing, and I know that all of our viewers wanna know, how can they join this nation?
Yeah.
Tell us.
So the way to connect with an amazing community of supportive women is to come to nourishedwomannation.com. And that's where you'll be invited in, totally my gift to you, to get a lot of support, to prioritize yourself. And so I'm really excited to invite you in. And as soon as you come in, you're gonna get a very cool video series that will help you put this nourishment dynamic right into action.
That's beautiful, Nina. Thank you so much for coming. I'm so excited to be part of this nation. And I know that I think you've given grace and love and dignity to so many women watching and some enlightened men watching.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, it is time for Twitter Uncorked. The question for this week is, how do you project confidence when you walk into a room? At Subarna_Gupta says, be genuine. At Transform Dance says, open your heart, focus on inner power, and connect with a smile. At Richard Oseguera says, I tune into the states of being I want to embody. Confident, grounded, magnetic, and I write down my intentions for the event. Do you want to get uncorked? Watch for next week's question on my Twitter feed at Cindy Ashton. Next up, we have commercial break, but stay tuned. After the break, I'm going to share with you how you can walk into any situation with confidence.
My name is Maxine Warsh, and I'd like to introduce you to the washcloth. Simple to use, water only. With a warm cloth, you're going to remove all of your makeup. My face is clean and smooth and exfoliated, water only. The washcloth. Some people call it a miracle, I call it practical.
I know you. Like me, you're a socially conscious entrepreneur, already creating a legacy in your business, living what you believe in, and nothing will stop you. Except having a web presence that's just okay. The world needs to see your work, your passion, your gift. Let's show it to them. I'm Michelle Empson, and together we will build a digital platform that will be the foundation for your business growth. I did this for CindyUncorked.com, and I want to do it for you. So visit me today at sanctuary-studios.net, and let's get started.
So something is really important in your life and you have to show up with confidence. So how do you walk into a room with confidence? Well, let's talk about the 4 body postures I never, ever, 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 ever want to ever see you do, like ever. And then we're gonna talk about what it looks like to have great body posture when you walk into a room. So number 1, you gotta avoid what I call the chicken neck. So this is when you're having a conversation with somebody or you walk in the room and you've got this thing going on. You know, you're kind of like a chicken. So if you can imagine, if you walk into a room like this, what this looks like, and when you're having a conversation with somebody, think about how intrusive this is. So no more chicken neck, okay? The second thing you want to watch out is what I call the pelvic pusher. Now this is more for men, but we do have some wonderful men watching us, some very enlightened ones. So the pelvic pusher is when you walk into a room and you're literally poking your pelvis out and you're like, hey baby, you know, you just got to avoid the pelvic. Like the minute you start jetting your pelvis out to somebody, there's a problem. All right, the other one is what I call a sloucher. Hello, little butterfly. So the sloucher is a person who slouches. Now watch what happens to my confidence and my speaking voice when I slouch. Hi, I'm Cindy Ashton, and now that I'm slouching, it's cutting off the air, and so my voice is like quieter, and I don't feel very like confident right now, and I kind of feel like a baby and like I'm insecure. So you don't want to walk into a room like that. And on the opposite end, we have what I call the pusher. And this is a person who tries to be confident but comes across as aggressive. So they try to stand tall and their voice comes across like this, and it's very, very loud and very aggressive. It's like you're a football captain, go! Okay, don't do that, stop it. So we gotta be careful not to try to go into good posture because it causes all kinds of tension and an aggressive voice. So you want to walk into a room and interact with somebody, you want to be in natural confidence, but how do you do it? The first exercise is what I call cactus arms. So what I want you to do is lift up your arms, both of them, but I can't because I've got a microphone. So you're going to lift up both your arms and you're going to take a breath in and release it and just feel, you're going to feel a bit of a stretch and a pull, and just breathe here for 30 seconds. Ba-dum, 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 and 30 seconds has passed. Let's pretend. Shake it all out and do that 2 more times. It's going to release so much tension and help you have a naturally open chest. The second exercise to get into good posture is the 30-second body posture exercise. So you're going to put your feet shoulder width apart. You're going to really spread your feet out and really bounce a little bit a few times and really ground yourself. And then you're going to lift both your arms up to your head. Now notice when you do that your ribs naturally rise up. So your ribs naturally rise up, and make sure your shoulders are dropped. So take a breath in and drop your shoulders. Good, couple more times. And then once you've got a good posture, make sure you tuck your tailbone and start to slowly bring your arms down, keeping your ribs nice and high. Then you have a nice broad open chest, open belly, you're breathing more easily, your voice is more naturally loud without being aggressive, and you can walk into any room with confidence. So are you all feeling great in your posture, projecting confidence and feeling that nourishment? Hopefully. So next week though, we're going to continue on this journey. We've got Lori Broadgam on the show. What is hidden in your food? Eeks, let's find out. But in the meantime, remember to go to our web exclusives. Dillis from New York, New York has made a request for me to sing Make You Feel My Love. So check that out. And of course, as always, get uncorked.